I have a very big book haul today. This is all of the books I've gotten over the last couple of months. I would say like maybe beginning of the year. And I had a birthday since then, so that's where a lot of these came from. But also just trips to the bookstore. My library had a book sale. This is my accumulation over the last couple of months. So, I have, let me grab, they're kind of all mismatched here. But I got these at McKay's, which is this really big, like used bookstore that they have here in Tennessee. You can still see the labels on them because I haven't taken it off. But they had these little penguin classics. They're like really, really tiny. And I thought they were cute, and I thought it would be an interesting way to try out some authors that I was sort of interested in, but that I haven't really explored too much. So this one is The Portrait of Mr. W.H. I have read by Oscar Wilde, The Portrait of Dorian Gray. That's what it's called, right? Or am I going crazy? But I do have that in here. It's actually in this haul. You'll see it later. It's the only book I've ever read by Oscar Wilde. And I just thought it was okay. I wasn't like, oh my God. It was just a fine book. It was kind of, I thought that the first like 30% of the book was really interesting, and then I didn't care for the rest, honestly. So that's that. Then I have Souls Belated by Edith Wharton. I really, really like Edith Wharton, or I sort of do. I feel like I talked about this, I think, in my book tour video, my like bookshelf tour. I have mixed feelings about Edith Wharton because I really, really loved the first book I ever read by her. And every book I've read since, I like her less and less and less. So, who knows? I thought I'd try a little story. Honor de Balzac, The Atheist's Mass. I didn't really know what this was about, but the back sounded interesting, and I wanted to try it. And same thing with this one, The Dream of the Red Chamber. I wanted to try it. It looked interesting. It might have been 25 cents. And also it's short enough that like I can read it easy and then be like, oh, this sucks, and get rid of it if I want to. This I got at my library book sale. It's Agatha Christie, The Witness for Prosecution. I've read a few Agatha Christie's before. I've read maybe around like 7 or 8 of them. But I haven't read anything from her in like, I don't know, over a year, I think. Maybe that's not quite true. I don't know. It's been a while. So I wanted to try another one, and I wanted to restart my collection of her books because she has so many books, and I want to have and read them all. But there's like 80 of them. So, okay. I've got Flowers for Algernon. This is a famous book. Apparently everybody says it's really sad, which is interesting. I'm very interested to read it and to kind of find out what happens. It's about experimenting on animals, I believe. But anyway, it seems really interesting. I read all of Anne of Green Gables, but I have not read any of this series, which is, it's by the same author. I don't know what it's about, really, honestly, but I'd like to read it. I got Anne Frank, Diary of a Young Girl. I never read it. I didn't read it for school or anything, and I had a copy when I was a teenager, but I just kind of never got around to it. And in my mind, eventually I'm gonna get around to it, you know? Eventually, surely. Surely I have to. Okay, then I got another Agatha Christie. I believe this one was also from the library book sale. And it's Murder on the Links. Another one I've never read. I don't think I have any of the ones I have read. It's also been a while, so I'm not exactly sure which ones I have and which ones I haven't, but I definitely haven't read this one. So, yeah. Okay, and then the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society. I mostly got this book because it was at another bookstore. It was like 25 cents, and my mom said that it was really, really good. I don't know if it's really going to be my thing. I don't super care for like World War II narratives. Nothing particularly wrong with them. I mean, if there's a good one, there's a good one. But there's also so many of them, and it's not really my thing. I don't really care for war stories in general. So yeah, I don't know if I'll like it or not, but my mom really liked it, so I'm gonna try it. Okay, then I have Passage to India by E.M. Forster. I've heard really, really good things about E.M. Forster, about some of his books, so I really wanted to try this one, except it's like somebody wrote their name on it, so I think that's funny, but it's also ugly, so I don't know. This is the copy I'll probably read it in, but if I found another copy, I will be trading it. I really don't care for like annotations. Like if I'm at a bookstore and I want a book, but it's annotated, I literally just won't get it because I hate reading books when there's already annotations in it. I am not an annotation girly. Most things with like damage to a book, I don't really care. Like this one's pretty kind of beat up and stuff. That doesn't really mind me, but I don't like writing on books. That's just my thing. I don't know why, but I want to read this really bad because I heard that it's excellent. Okay. Snow by Orhan Pamuk. I had this on my Goodreads. I watch a lot of booktube content, and therefore I have added thousands of books to my like want to read section on Goodreads. And this one was in it, and I don't know why. Because I've watched so much like booktube content that I probably heard about this book somewhere and I was like, that sounds so good. But I don't know what it's about. I guess I could read the back, but I'm just gonna probably hop into it and see if I like it. Okay. Another Agatha Christie. This is again from my library sale. Another one I haven't read, but I'm really excited for this one because out of the Agatha Christie's I did read, my favorite one was one from the like Miss Maples series, because she has like different characters who are like the detective, but my favorite one came from the Miss Maple series. And I don't know if it's because of Miss Maples particularly, or if it was just really good. I remember it being the most like shocking like reveal on who the murderer was. And if I'm being honest, the other ones didn't match up. Not that the other ones were bad, but just that the one I read in this series was the best. Okay, Hamlet. These are my favorite copies of Shakespeare. I will not read any other copy because these ones have the like explanations in them. Like before there's a scene in the book, it has an explanation of what's going on. And I cannot understand Shakespeare if I don't have those. So I love these editions. Whenever I find these, I pick them up because I really want to read all of Shakespeare, and I've only read a couple, and I think this is gonna be, I was gonna say this is gonna be my first tragedy, but I read Romeo and Juliet, so it won't be, but I'm excited to read it. Okay, The Call of the Wild. This is just a famous classic book, but it's a lot more like a kid's book than I thought it was, because I didn't really know anything about it, but like opening it up, you can see it's definitely like a kid's book, which is fine. I mean, it'll still be good, but I haven't been in the mood to like read it because I want something a little bit more like stimulating, I guess. But I think I'll get around to it probably when I want like a quick kind of simple read. I'll go for this. But I really mostly just got it because it's a classic I haven't read, so I want to give it a shot. But it's more of a kid's book than I thought it was gonna be, that's for sure. Next I have is Lord of the Flies. It's kind of a cool cover, I think. I think it looks kind of cool. This is another book I've never read. Well, most of these I haven't read. The ones I have read are over here. But this is like another book that you read a lot in high school. I don't know why. But I'm very interested about it. People always say such weird things about this book. That's what I'll say, is I always hear the weirdest things about this book and like about how people like interpret the book. And I don't know. I'm interested to, after reading the book myself, to kind of make sense of everything else that I'm hearing about it, you know? Okay, then I have Their Eyes Were Watching God. This book I had heard a lot about online. It's another book I don't really know what it's about, but I'm very intrigued to read it because it's like a lot of the other classics where I don't really know what it's about, but I've heard that it's great and I want to try it. I want to get in on the greatness. So there's that one. Peony in Love. Lisa C., she is one of my favorite authors. I've read most of her books at this point, but this is one of them I haven't. You'll see a couple more of her books soon, but this is one of the ones I haven't, and I'm very excited to see what it's about, because, yep. Okay, along with Lisa C., here's another one. This is the first one I ever read by her, and I love it. I would say it's probably one of my favorite books to this day. But I didn't have a physical copy because when I moved like a couple years ago. When I moved, I had to leave all my books. So I finally have a new copy. There we go. This is another book I've read. I was like really pleasantly surprised by this book. I didn't expect it to be any good, and then it was. Maybe that sounds mean, but it just seemed, there's like, I feel like a lot of historical fiction functions in like a very specific way. And we're like this, I don't know. It's just that the feeling that historical fiction gives off is always very similar, you know? And I felt like this was not that. It felt interesting. It felt a little bit unique. And I just liked it a lot more than I thought I would. So I was pleasantly surprised. So I kept it on my shelf. I usually only want to have books, like if I've read them, I only want to have books on my shelf that like I liked, you know. I'm not really the kind of person to only have books if I'll like reread them. I don't really care for that, but I like having books on my shelf as like a reminder of like, oh yeah, like that was a story I enjoyed, you know. So there is Upside Down, Things Fall Apart. This book, honestly, I think it was a little overhyped. I heard so many people online talk about how amazing it was, life-changing, blowing their minds. And then I read it. It was okay. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a perfectly decent book. I thought it was interesting. I mean, I bought a copy, so I thought it was pretty good. But honestly, when I read it, I was kind of like, I don't get the hype. Just a little bit, I don't get the hype. So, good book. I think a little, I overestimated it, maybe. Sorry. Okay. So as I was talking about earlier, here's Oscar Wilde, The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's kind of dusty. Don't mind that. It was also okay. I feel the same way about both of these. I think it was a little overhyped. I already kind of talked about it. But the last 60% of this book, kind of boring, if I'm being honest. Not my favoriteest book ever. It was fine though, and it had really good writing, I think. I think the writing was really good, and like the things, like the way that like situations was happening was very interesting, but like I didn't care for the story. So I do want to try other Oscar Wilde books because I'm like, I like his writing, I just didn't really care for what was happening. Okay, going along with more Lisa C. This is another one I've read. I actually have somewhere in my other books. I have this is a sequel. So I have I have number 1 somewhere in there. This is the sequel to it. And I read this sometime last year. It was really good. Great book. Okay. I don't even want to talk about this book. Horrible book. I got this book with the intention of reading it because this is the last like major work by Jane Austen that I hadn't read. All the others I had read, so I wanted to read this last one partially so I could make like sort of a like tier list video. It was horrible. It was horrible. It was so bad. Especially for Jane Austen, I've never been more disappointed. Nothing went the way I wanted it to go, and it was so disappointing. So I have this book. I hate this book, but it'll finish my Jane Austen collection, so I am keeping it. But I can't believe it's a Jane Austen. It functions very similarly to how all her other books function. But what a horrible ending. I mean, truly, truly, truly. Not my biggest recommend for you. Read any of the others, actually. It was also kind of boring. Sorry, it was kind of boring. Okay. Then, this is my most recent read, actually. It's Castle in the Air, which is a sequel to Howl's Moving Castle, but I've never read Howl's Moving Castle. I really want to, but I found this at a bookstore. I hadn't found Howl's Moving Castle, and I just wanted to read it. And they're not technically like directly related. Like it's a sequel, but it's in the same series, but it's following different characters. So I read them out of order. I loved it though. Honestly, this gave me so much of the vibe of like Narnia. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you've like read the Narnia books, it's like so much of the same kind of feeling and the same kind of like fantasy. It's made for kids, but it's not too kiddie, and I think it's so good. And not only do I want to finish the series with Howl's Moving Castle, and I don't know what the other one's called actually. I wonder if they have it in here. I have no clue, I can't find it, but there is like a list of all of her works here, so surely it's there. But I really want to read a lot of her books because the vibes were immaculate. The story was good. it's really about kind of the feeling it gave me. And the characters were fun, and it had that kind of feeling I think you get with like, I feel like a really good kids book where like at the end things are revealed that it feels so satisfying, and then you think back and you're like, oh my god, that's why that thing happened. It's good, I swear. Okay, I got The Wild Robot. I actually got this from like a little library. We have those here. I was actually really surprised. We have a couple in Tennessee where I'm around, but this book, I mostly got it because I went and watched the movie with my boyfriend, and I didn't know, I thought it would be kind of a fun thing to like, because it was one of the first, I think it's the first time we ever went out together, sort of. But anyway, it's kind of about the memory of going out to see it with him and less about the book. But, you know, I'll read it. I will. I'm interested in reading it, but it's not really why I got it. Okay. The Swiss Family Robinson. Look at how cool this looks. Look at how cool it looks. It actually looks so cool. Wait, look. And look at that. 8. Absolutely 8. Ready Player One? You're joking. It's so cute. I don't know what this book's about. That's all. That's my review for all of these, actually. I don't know. It's like a survival thing, I believe. They get, I think a family gets stranded in the wilderness and they survive. And I read The Swallows and Amazons when I was a kid. And in my mind, whenever I hear about this book, I think about The Swallows and Amazons. And I don't know if they're similar, but I associate them for some reason. So, but the book eats, for sure. Okay, this is my most recent book I got. I went to this, there is this super cute cafe / used bookstore, and they were a little bit more pricey. Like this book was $8. $8, guys. And it's a paperback. You know, it says on the back, actually, I don't know when this was printed because it could be different now. But it says on the back that it like was originally sold for $8.99 and I got it for $7.99. So I'm like, I don't, you know, thrift stores be charging you sometimes, especially if it's like a curated thrifted bookstore. But I can't find this book anywhere. I don't know what it is, but there are certain authors that I feel like they don't exist off of the internet. I feel like that sounds weird, but I'm like, I feel like this is such a big author. She was huge. She made all these series. I've heard about her so much. I've literally never found one of her books anywhere. So when I saw that they had a whole section of her, I was like, I need me some of that. I want to read that. They also had Howl's Moving Castle, but I'm stingy. I want to go back eventually. The other thing is, when books are more expensive, I don't like buying them unless I've read them and I know I like them. If something is like a library book sale where they sell it for relatively cheap, I don't mind just getting it so that I can like try it, you know. But if I'm gonna spend $10 on a book, I kind of want it to be a book that like I've already read from my library or some other circumstance. And now I'm just kind of getting the physical copy so that I can have it on my bookshelf. But I really wanted to try her. And also they had like, it's such a long wait on Libby for me. Or also I think they like only had the audiobook version or something. Like they didn't have the actual book. So I'm happy. I want to try it. but I'm gonna have to wait because I am in the middle of like a couple series and I want to finish those before I start another series. Okay, now I'm actually in the middle of this. 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm in the middle of it. I know it's a crime, but I do dog ear my pages. I know, I dog ear my pages. Sorry guys. To be fair, this book is already ripped up. It was like eaten by a mouse or something down here. I honestly don't really care. I got it for a good price. It was from that bookstore where they had like the bargain section. So I got it for like $1. And it's really good. It's really good. I'm excited to finish it. It's so much better than I thought it was gonna be, honestly. Because in my mind, it's kind of like, I was like, okay, it's gonna be kind of like a popcorn read. But it was good. I'm still reading it and I'm excited to finish it. And I'm excited to try more of her work. So. Then I've got 1,000 Splendid Suns. I've read The Kite Runner. It was a really good book. It was really sad. And I wanted to try another one of his books. I believe this has nothing to do with The Kite Runner. I don't know. The way people talk about it, I feel like people are always like, it's not like series, but like also they're connected or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm excited to read it and find out the shtick, because I thought the other one, I still think about The Kite Runner, you know, so it's probably gonna be just as good. Now, The Monster, The Count of Monte Cristo. I am currently reading this. I've been reading this for a millennia, a million years, whatever. Still only halfway through. I have another millennia coming in. It's a good book, don't get me wrong. It's a very good book. It's so long. And I've been listening to it on audio, like an audiobook. Maybe that's my problem, because it's hard for me to find things to do while I listen, because I can't just like sit down and listen to an audiobook. I have to like go do something and listen, but then a lot of things I can't do while I'm listening to an audiobook. I've got Stepford Wives. I mostly got this because I saw like a video essay on YouTube about the movie. It's also like moldy. Like the pages are kind of moldy. Kind of gross. But I saw a video essay on YouTube about the movie of this, and it was really an interesting video essay. So I was like, maybe I want to read the original source, you know? Okay, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I got this book because I'm not really the biggest self-help reader, but my best friend told me that this was really, really excellent and she recommended it. So I want to read it, see what the hype is about, you know? Okay. Solito. This is the same thing I had with that other book, The Snow Book, where I had it on my want to read Goodreads section, and I don't know why. I surely heard about this somewhere on BookTube at some point. But it sounded kind of interesting, the back of the book. It kind of sounded interesting, so I might as well try it. It seems kind of like, I don't know. You can tell when something's gonna be like a classic is like a hard read. Like, it's like very, like you really have to focus, you really have to think about that. I don't think you'll really have to think about this. I don't know. Maybe I'm judging it by the cover, but I think it's for kids, right? That's what I mean. It's like, anyway. Okay, Virginia Woolf, To the Lighthouse. I'm read a Virginia Woolf before. What was that book's name? Miss Dalloway? Is that what it's called? Mrs. Dalloway? Am I crazy? I think I read that book. I don't know if that's the name. And maybe it's not by Virginia Woolf. Maybe I'm crazy right now. But honestly, that book was just fine. It was okay. But I wanted to try another one of her books. Because that book had a very specific kind of structuring. And I think the structuring confused me. I don't know. I'm assuming not all her books are structured like that. So I want to read another book, give her another shot. Okay. Last but not least, the full Sherlock Holmes collection. I'm so excited about this. What a find. And I got it at the library book sale for like, I think they were like $1 each or something. A steal. Actually so good. Crazy find. I've read like half of Sherlock Holmes when I was a kid. But I only had like, it was like an edition like this, not this exact one, but it was an edition like this where it's like the full collection is split into 2 big books, and I only had one of them, and I never had the other, so I never finished reading Sherlock Holmes. So I'm interested to read like it all the way through, and my best friend, she loves the show, so we might read it together. I think that might be fun, or I might just read it myself, who knows. But that is the book haul.